So they finally released the FISA memo, and the liberal media has been trying its best to downplay it. The Democrats are now hot to release their own memo because they are basically saying that this memo is not in proper content, kind of like they did with everything Donald Trump said for the past year, and knowing full well what they were doing. And this also affirms they weren't as certain as they led the public to believe of Hillary being elected. Otherwise, why would the DNC pay for a phony dossier and lie to the FISA court to get surveillance warrants? As well, John McCain's irrational statement affirms just how potent cancer medication can be. No, really, John boy, it's time for you to make like MacArthur and fade away. And to think this all started with Donald Trump playing Comey like a violin. No, really, people say Trump is playing chess. He's playing poker. And he bluffed Comey into thinking their conversation was being recorded, and Comey shit his pants and wrote his own memo and felt the need to testify to Congress, all in a futile attempt to cover his own ass, but instead exposed his ass. It's so funny how Trump continues to outplay the Democrats, and the Democrats have yet to figure out Trump's game. Such stupid ass clowns. The Democrats have tunnel vision. They are so obsessed with taking down Donald Trump that he continues to outflank them. He just keeps rolling along. He's winning more than Charlie Sheen could ever dream of winning. And I know you liberal cucks don't want to admit it, nor admit that Donald Trump has been vindicated. And even if you get control of the House, you might get enough votes to impeach him, if you're lucky, but that's not going to remove him from office. Remember, Bill Clinton was impeached, but he wasn't removed from office because you need a 2/3 vote in the Senate. The House may impeach him, but the Senate won't vote to remove him. It's not going to happen no matter what happens in the midterms. You're living on Fantasy Island and there's no plane. Give it up. You're stuck with Trump for the next 4 and quite possibly 8 years. In fact, next time around, you could expect me to vote for Trump. Unless some god or goddess holds a press conference telling everyone not to re-elect Trump. I have a better chance of landing in a hot tub with Nicki Minaj before that happens. It's just unbelievable how clueless people are to the mechanics of the Constitution, and people who should know. And it's despicable for those who do know, but mislead people for the sake of a veiled political agenda. And it would seem for liberals that political agenda comes from the pages of Saul Alinsky's book Rules for Radicals, such as accusing the opposition for something you are doing. That's rule number 3, I believe. Such as accusing Trump as being a threat to democracy, when in reality it's liberal progressive Democrats and a handful of rogue FBI agents who tried to subvert the democratic process. All for the purpose to assure Hillary Clinton won the White House and basically transfer America from a land of opportunity into another third world banana republic, ruled by globalists and EU mandates. Because progressive liberals are not all that progressive, nor are they interested in democracy or individual freedoms. They are only interested in sucking on the ass of George Soros while lining their pockets with his money. And George Soros has no regard for American sovereignty. He wants America to be subservient to international institutions and laws. He wants mass migration in America as what's going on in Europe, and replace American culture with a multicultural cesspool. He doesn't want immigrants to assimilate into American society. No, he wants America to assimilate into his international conglomerate, with him pulling all the strings. And the Democrats are bowing to him. He's financed left-wing organizations such as ACORN, Apollo Alliance, National Council of Lareza. He has his hands in the Huffington Post, Southern Poverty Law Center, People for the American Way, Planned Parenthood, the National Organization for Women. He financed Barack Obama as well Hillary Clinton, and he obsessed himself with bringing down George W. Bush as he is attempting with Donald Trump. And we're just skimming the surface in the world of George Soros. Democrats continue to point the finger at Russia in having a hand in the election of Donald Trump, but George Soros is just as guilty in influencing American elections. Yes, Russia is a threat. They are not our friends. They have very few friends, and it's been that way since the Tsars. Russia has always had a shaky relationship with the rest of the world, but Russia does not have the economic might as they once had. They're not looking to take over the world. Russia is just out to survive. You want to talk about a threat to Western society and civil liberties? Look no further than the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, which George Soros has a hand in, and wants both entities to have greater power while decreasing America's influence. And the Democratic Party are capitulating to the desires of George Soros. They have turned their back to American values as well Western society. They are no friends to democracy. They are friends to George Soros. And people are waking up to the bullshit, much to the dismay of the liberal world. And the midterm elections are going to be very telling. I don't think the Democrats are going to win as big as they expect. I know everybody is expecting it because that's normally what happens. It happened with Obama. It happened with Clinton. The president's party always loses in the midterm. And Trump wasn't supposed to win. What was it Chris Matthews said the day after the election? It's a different earth. The eggs have not hatched into chickens, and in the end, you might have some busted shells and a tasty omelet. Thanks for stopping by and for tuning in. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until we talk again, I want you all to be well and enjoy life.